Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Look, today we discussing Willie Lynch, and right now on the panel with me, I have OG Alex. Let me bring OG Alex on to the show. Brother Alex, welcome to the show.
Going on? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
So right now, as you see on the screen, right?
Wow.
Let me put it over here. All right. And bam. It says Willie Lynch, the Willie Lynch letters and the making of a slave, right? See, the reason why we're discussing this topic is because this is the last part that you always see of previous um, shows that we've did pertaining to slavery and the history and how it affected our psyche today, right?
Okay.
Right. And let me grab this. Sister Pebble, how you doing?
Hello.
I love
Fine. Hello, everyone.
it.
Hello.
Now, Pepper, can you see the Willie Lynch in the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. That is the topic we're discussing. And this is the making of a slave. Uh, as the minister stated, God made man, white folks made niggas. And we finna get into that process and how that whole process was done, right? Okay. Now, Willie Lynch came in 1712, but this is just a brief of what took place in 1712. It says in 1712, America, the dominant story was the New York slave revolt, right?
Mm-hmm.
A violent uprising by enslaved Africans seeking freedom, leading to death and brutal executions, followed by harsher slave codes. This event highlighted the growing oppressive system of slavery in British colonies, where even free black people lost rights like land ownership, while colonies like South Carolina tightened restrictions, solidifying slavery as a foundational yet contested part of colonial life, right? Okay, so now we finna get into it, y'all. We finna get into it. Okay, so look, this is making a 12. As you see, this speech was delivered by Willie Lynch on the banks of the James River in the colony of Virginia, right? This is 1712. So he says, greetings. Check this out, y'all. He says, gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord, 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies. Now, the West Indies consists of Cuba and Jamaica and the Caribbean, right? So we're gonna stop right there. We'll pick that back up, right, on the West Indies. Y'all check this out, right? Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling you that he had already implemented this system in Jamaica, in Cuba, all throughout the Caribbean and in Dominican. They were first
Mm.
to get it. And so now we starting to see what took place or why they have the colorism going on over there, right? But this is what I want to get at is that okay, so prior to that, you had Egypt, you had pyramids, you had the Moors civilizing Spain and Portugal. Then at 1492, when the Moors fell, now Pope Innocent and different popes created that doctrine of discovery to where anywhere you travel and they wasn't practicing Constantine version of religion, you had a right to seize the land because they considered you savage. Okay. So from that point, after that took place in the Caribbeans, they had to come up with a system to where it could rule without them presently being seen, without their hand being seen in the mix of the slavery and the colonization and the brutal, harsh treatment of killing what they would consider their property. So
Yeah.
it had to be something that was on autopilot that we would do subconsciously without us even knowing we carrying out or we acting in such a way, right? So we getting ready to get started on the questions. Is that do you believe? We can start with Sister Pebbles. Do you believe that history or memory is carried through the blood, through your DNA, through your genetic coding or your genome?
Absolutely.
So, okay, so that means then that
Hmm.
going on over to a generation. What about you, Dave?
I do. I think it's definitely relevant when something dramatic happens. I'll just even use TV movies as an example. When we see something that's happening to our people, it just hits home. You feel it in your soul. Even though you wasn't there, just the dramatic part of seeing it. It's like you can rewind back like it's as if you were there. It's just live and vivid. That's how I know it's been passed down. Even though it's a movie and it's showing a reenactment of it, it's still valid, and it strikes a nerve in your soul when especially when you see someone hanging from a tree or something like that. That just it just it does travel. I
Like like deja vu in a sense. Like, man, I've been here before. I've seen this. I kind of feel, you know what I mean? I feel like I've been here before,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep, yep.
Wait, yeah, and not to get off the note, right? Uh, it was Steve McNair, right? Football player, played for the Oilers and the Titans, right?
Yeah.
He said when he made his money, he went back and bought the land and moved his mama in on the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he found out down the years that this was the same land that his people was enslaved on. He didn't even
Oh.
know it at the time.
Mm.
So it lets you know, like the Asians call it feng shui. Certain areas you just feel comfortable. Like, why did I pick this side of town? Why did I pick this? This could be natural to you, That lets you know that our genome or our geneticism goes back so far. We still connected,
Yep.
even though we don't see our ancestors, but we still connect. They still a part of they're in us, right?
You feel it. You feel it. You can go certain places and you can just feel like I'll just use an example when people sometime when you visit like I'm here in Tulsa and I haven't traveled to some of the places just yet because I've only been here for a few months. But it has a real rich history on the Black Wall Street and what happened on here. And me coming from Houston and I've noticed I go different places and it's a somber type vibe here. You know what I mean? It's like when you're around, when folks are around, it's like, are you thinking about what happened, or they don't know how you feel about what happened by you being a Black person here, knowing that that history surrounds this town, and it's kind of like they don't know if you about to explode or you it's calm or whatever. So I'm soaking it up, man. So it's a whole different vibe coming from a big city and then you're coming somewhere where that type of destruction happened. So what I'm trying to say is if you visit like a grave site, when you go
Uh-huh.
by stuff like that, man, you get that, you feel that in and you feel like people that you don't even know, you feel like, you feel something happened to them, that was really bad.
It's speaking to you.
Yes, yes,
Is that what they call the old souls, where we recognize those souls, or we may be old souls?
yeah,
You
yeah,
just you never know. But I do want to. The whole purpose of this particular show is we gonna create a system to break this spell.
I
We
got you.
That's right.
gonna we gonna help them break this spell. because when we get through, they'll see because first they tried to say that it wasn't true. This
That's
document.
right. That it did. The papers, like the entire papers, are like they're fake. But
But
if it's fake, why are we able to actually see the ramifications of that paper? We can
right,
see it, but if it's not true, why can we see it and we can feel it
right,
Right.
but we going
and
through.
we can touch it?
That's
I
right.
mean,
It had to come from somewhere. It didn't just come out of a vacuum. He says, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of a slave. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented, right? As our boat sailed south of the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprising, slaves are running away, your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires, your animals are killed. Now check this out. He said you are not only losing valuable stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
The slave trade is what created the stock market.
Yeah.
That created the way to get the stock market from. So how is this fake? They utilize, they telling you everything they did,
Yeah.
right?
and
But they
also think of that just confirms how long we have been experimented on or experimented with. Let's say that.
oh my God, with the Tuskegee experiment, the
Oh, so
lady,
I mean, I'm just saying it's
yeah,
been ongoing that we have been a target. Like
Yes.
people have gone through extreme measures to take an interest in us.
this the image of the Rome, how they was doing the people back in that day and that time.
Wow.
That is the image. That's how they did and got their brutality and brought it to where the indigenous people was, right? You in the Caribbean. And you see it in the Caribbeans today. That colorism in the Caribbean in the Caribbeans and in that coast and all the way up to Mexico came from somewhere. They implemented this plan. And it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
If you think about it, he said in the letter, he said if the people in Rome found out that he was using, the system, they would be upset. So that lets you know that that's probably where he got it from. They were already, he just took it somewhere else and, they tested it out, made sure, it worked, for him and his plantation and stuff he had going on. And think about it, if you had these slave owners here and they never knew how to really just do it. They was going the most harshest route. I'm gonna beat you into it. I'm gonna make you do it. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna do it this way. And so he's like, man, it's psychological warfare is what he brought to it.
Exactly, because why, right? There's a analytical approach to result certain effects, right? You want certain results, so you do certain things so it can be embedded in your psyche. So
That's
you control.
or you learn what people like,
Yep.
and then you in turn create something and use that against them, as in religion.
Oh, oh, yeah, okay. Oh. Look now, we get in this part. Now this is the part of the meat of it that we're going to tackle. and I put it up there for the audience. They can read it for themselves, but I'll go along. And it states, gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them, right? So now he's creating a method for the plantation owners who have money, old money, the money that you see circulating with the 1%, that's been going on since these times, right? So he's telling you, okay, this is what I'm doing, right? I'm getting ready to give you a method, right, of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slave. I guarantee you, every one of you, that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. This was done. This was done in 2017.
Wow.
300 years would have been 2012. Remember the whole thing about 2012
So
and the
if you,
calendar?
so when so when something is put into the psyche, that lets you know, again, confirmation that it can continue.
And continue, right? Because Pebbles, nobody up until now, what we doing, said we got to break this cycle.
Right.
If we don't break this cycle, then what we seeing now, the killings, the he created that inward mindset. God didn't create that.
Right.
He came in and said, look, we gotta knock them out. We gotta destroy them. We can't let them be who they were in the past, the rulers and the princesses and the kings and the queens, the mathematicians, the scientists, right? Because why? This is a race. We don't want to compete with them. We don't want them. We want to rule without any competition.
Right.
Right. So he says, check it out. He says that, after he says it's gonna last for 300 years, my method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it, right? I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, meaning, how long do you think he studied us?
For a
A
while.
long time. A long time.
Alone. He
A
studied.
lot of time on his hand, a lot of free time on his hands to be able to sit there and say, just to watch. Okay, they do this, do that, do this, do that.
They because they'll come as a friend, but really they studying you.
That's right. So it's like as we're going about our everyday living, we're being watched.
Yep.
Uh,
24-hour surveillance.
Yes. You're going to work, you're doing things, to sustain your life, taking care of your family, going to school, going to work, whatever you need to do. And it's like you're being watched.
and that's not who we are. We don't believe in watching people, but we under a system that believes in watching people, and it just don't settle right with us. But what do you do? What do you do? It's wild, man.
It's creepy.
It's a voyeuristic mentality. Great
Yeah.
voyeurs.
It's like
Are you there?
delusional. I mean, it's really delusional that when someone would take that much interest in something, or someone that doesn't show,
Yeah.
not reciprocated. But of course, it's done to create new chaoses. I mean, and it's done like years ahead. Because that's how well we are being studied to where it's already pre-planned. Okay, I'll do this in this year, the next year, or whatever else. And that's what has been happening.
And and the method he used shows you that he didn't have a intelligent mind. He had a wicked mind backed by brute force or violence to get his method across.
Right.
Now he says, and I take these differences, right, and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes.
Yes,
Yeah,
and don't forget favoritism.
favorite.
I'll make one feel a little bit, give them a little bit more privilege than the other, and then okay,
There it is.
I'm gonna
there's
give.
the distraction.
Look, I'm gonna give this one 2 biscuits, and I'm gonna give this one 1. And the one that got the 2 big, he's showing out. He too big, you know. And for
Right.
you know it, they fight.
Or the person could be absolutely innocent, but the mirror, it's just that they accepted it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you gotta know. You know, and all as it said, in all you're getting, make sure you get a good understanding.
Right.
Mhm.
And
It's like more and less. You know, everybody say more is better. You know, oh, I have less, so less is worse. So if I got less, I'm doing worse. So it does something to the psyche. You know, I'm without. This ain't nothing but a biscuit, but I'm without. I don't have 2. All I have is 1. But you still have a biscuit. But the psychological part behind of it is I have less. So I'm less than. You know, you associate everything with less because you got less. You know.
so he's creating jealousy. He's creating the envy.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
He's creating the envy over time. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the mindset.
Look at today's time when you have someone, even though people go on social media, and I use it as a reference based on when a person takes a picture of something that they had. Some people are happy for them. I'm glad they got a new car.
Right.
You know, but psychologically, you know, someone be like, "Oh, they on there showing off." But you know,
yeah.
Or you take a trip and someone is like, look, and here's the thing. Well, guess what? I'm here. I'm available. But guess what? Me being available, it doesn't matter. But the moment that someone says, hey, would you like to do this or to do that? And then, and it's the same opportunity given to anyone. But the minute you do something, it's like, wow, why you didn't let me know?
Right.
But hold on, I've been available. I'm available.
Right. Why you didn't? Right. Why you didn't include me? But really, you've been available, been doing it. Why you didn't say that anything I can do to help? Or do you need anything? You know,
exactly.
If we wanna push, but see, that's Willie Lynch. That's what it's not us.
Right.
See the ills we
the
face.
method. It's the method of systematic
that system that was put it in us, and it was been passed down for generations. It's not. We on autopilot. We gotta look from the some kind of way. We gotta come from the inside and look back at ourselves.
Yep.
And see where his method is applying in us, so we can eradicate it.
That's right. Take responsibility to recognize it and say, okay, then let me not do this.
Right.
Because this is what, and even within our own actions, if we know that certain things we do, that it can prompt a certain outcome, we have to begin to think more critical to say, okay, let me not do this because then perhaps this will happen.
Bro, exactly.
It's like, because, for instance, let's just say, okay, then, well, you know what? I went to the store and either I was given 5 chickens, right?
Okay.
5 chickens. Well, how about this? Instead of me bragging, oh, I got 5 chickens. How about I say, hey, can anyone use one? I mean, can
Uh,
you use this? Do you need something to eat?
right.
We have to start doing those kind of things like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
show
You.
generosity. We always show, the abundance, but like you said, acts of kindness and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, I mean, I'll be the first one to say I used to be like that when social media first came out, coming from when we didn't have all of that, and you started to see it, and you started to see it. A lot of people starting to do certain things, and then I would I'll be honest and say, I'll be like, man, they just showing off, or what? I started to feel like that. I didn't really have any problem against the person, but it just started to play on me, like, you know,
Right.
then you have a self reflection. Like, I'm being a hater. You know what I mean? Why
Right.
am I hating on them? You have to catch yourself.
And
But
then from a different perspective, we got to think about because of our lacking,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say, so to speak, just an individual that didn't have, and once they get something and they get it abundantly, sometimes people do show off because we never had. But also, what that does, it attracts things to you that you may not want.
right.
I agree.
Exactly. But we are outlining the methods that was controlling our thoughts and our mindset.
So we
Right.
didn't know. We grew up a certain way. We didn't know. We just really didn't know, man. I can
When I
yeah.
when I recognized the method he was using, I felt played. They played us. We got played.
And it allows us to play ourselves.
Yeah, man, I
Yeah.
said we
If we didn't make a change for the better, you know what I'm saying? We came into knowledge and wisdom to understand, this is not who I am. This is what I'm doing, but this is not me as the person. Once we realize that we wanted more knowledge and maturity comes into play, and you start to say, I'm not going to conduct myself like that.
right. Yeah, that's. I'm or mine was, man, I'm not gonna let them run me no more and have me out here looking crazy at their whim. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, man, because I would walk down the streets and it was almost like they knew I knew and I knew they knew.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start waking up, they start understanding. Okay, well, this one, no, okay. They start. It's like the bully, right? Let me go try to pick on the one I think is the weakest or the lowest hanging fruit I can go grab, right? I don't want nothing that's gonna be difficult. So when you wake up and they realize, okay, well, let me go get them. Well, hold on, we trying to wake them up too. So you can't go get nobody. Leave them alone, right? Now I'm gonna show you how. Now check this out. He said these methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies. So he had already seen an example that it worked because it worked in the West Indies. He already had them.
Right.
So he's looking at his formula. So he know if it worked over there, he know it's gonna work over here.
So actually, he created a product.
He created a product. But he's saying, right, but that product he's saying is they the same. He saw us as the same. From the West Indies to the Americas to Jamaica to all Caribbeans to the blacks in America. He's seen us as the same. But he's created a method to where we saw each other as being different.
Jamaica, see, right.
Right.
Wow.
He was,
Yeah.
he was like,
Now
yeah,
that's interesting.
we got played. Like that's why Malcolm said we've been had, we've
Exactly.
been hoodwinked,
Excuse me
we've
one
been
second.
run amok.
But think about this. Think about this. It's a double-edged sword. I have a background in sales, and when you're doing sales, when I first started to read the article, in my mind, I automatically slipped into sales mode because technically, he's trying to really condition the mind of the slave owners. He already know they're having these problems. You know what I'm saying? So he's coming in a time of need, but he's selling the system to them as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a one-time type thing. It's like, hey, I got that, remember those commercials we was watching and back in the days, like it's 100% guaranteed that it'll work, from advertising. So he came in on both ends. He played them as well because the ones that, implemented it, some of them there's still some revolt. There's still some, some animosity. So it wasn't 100% guaranteed. Some people lost their life.
Right. Some people start waking up, couldn't take it due to sneaking and reading books and getting knowledge. Them slaves was hiding. They was giving white kids. They would make bread and give white kids bread and trade and to teach them how to read sentences. Right. That's that fight. That's that fight.
Right.
That's that fight.
Like the Frederick Douglass.
Mm-hmm.
When he was learning.
He was learning. They thought
he would say, it was basically like, I bet I can count further than you can. So once he learned the number 1, he convinced the child, the next number 2. And he kept adding on and on and on. That's how he learned.
Okay. And you know what? They said that when we talked about Liberia, the American Colonization Society, they said one of the reasons they wanted to get us out of America because they felt if we started to learn, we would start to become rebellious and start having slave revolts. So that lets us know that knowledge is power. They feared us having knowledge. That's why they said, well, if you want to keep anything from a black man, put it in the book. Because we're going to make them, oh my God, we're going to make them feel embarrassed or bad if they pick up this book or something might happen to them. And that's why Willie Lynch again. That's why in school, they praised the ones who was getting the F's and the one was getting the A's. They called them nerds and they wasn't cool.
Right.
They got us.
Right.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, the trickery.
Y'all remember that TV show back in the days? The Welcome Back, Carter. You remember that?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me then they had a spinoff, Head of the Class? So you mean to tell me the people that failed every year, and if you look at the show, it had every race in the show except for Asian, but they were the ones that were not going to, they didn't pass. But
the sweat hog, right?
You see what I'm saying? So the fact of it is the how powerful knowledge is and education is. They made a show about showing these people like it was okay to be that way. That infected so many young people's mind that like, well, it was okay to be the dumb kids or not try hard or the teachers kind of gonna pass you by or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a part of the game.
Come on,
that's a part of the game. If you think about it, yes.
That's what I'm gonna say. He just how he was teaching us how to become the victims of what he was teaching his method. He was also teaching them how to keep it going for generations.
Yeah.
And as time evolved, and then he started using television to teach. That's why black folk was saying, well, wait a minute. How come every time we gotta get a Grammy or Oscar or play a role, it gotta be the maid, the nanny, the butler, or the black man running down the street and the cops chasing him, and why we gotta play all them roles? Because they had to keep this going. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, even in music.
I just saw in fact I just watched a video of a Somalian lady, and she said that where they were, the United States basically taught them or showed them that, the blacks in America are thugs, everything derogatory. That's what they taught them. To keep them separated from us until they come here, just like they showed us. How many times have you seen a video where little African kids, runny noses with flies all over, different things like that? And really, it's not even like that. Not to that detriment.
Right.
But they did it for money and to portray this particular look. So it's like in all the other countries, we'll show them as this. And I mean, it's like on repeat. Kind of like, what's that? Tales from the Hood?
Tales from the Hood. Tales from the Hood.
Remember how they put the young man in front of the screen and
Yeah, in
had
front of
him
that
there? It was
screen.
just right,
Running
kind
it
of, yeah,
out. Right. That's
right.
what
So
they do.
everything is just on replay, play it over and over. I mean, to put it in the psyche, and so the people, that's what's in their mindset. So again, it's the system, and like you said, we have to now that we know, and not only that we know, we can see it and we recognize it. So now it's our responsibility to put systems in place to counteract it.
Come on.
Agree.
And you
That's the
see,
only that's the only thing to do it is a system.
we got to create a system because I saw blacks in America was jumping on them Somalis because some of them had that Trump hat on, make America great, and they were saying y'all act like y'all didn't want to socialize with us, but now they on y'all ass now, y'all. But they a victim too. Why?
Right.
Because I'm gonna show you. Because we not really jumping the gun, but I'm gonna show you why. Because he started it in the West Indies. Then they brought it to the Americas, right? And by way of
Right.
Liberia going into Africa, they brought it through Africa, right through the Liberians, and they started working the system over there. So the Africans got it too.
Right.
Right.
He,
Right. So it's this. Me no black. Me no black.
yeah, you know,
But you black. But you found out you black. Me no black while you there. But when you come here, it's like, oh, okay.
Be black.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. They get to dragging you and them cops beat in the head with that old stick.
You know, wake up call.
Wait a minute. I'm not them. Like they like, but I can't tell the difference. You them. Because they don't understand
Right.
he's on code. He know to treat them. He know to treat anything with melanin indigenous that way through the method if they want to stay in power. So they gonna do it. And we were so crazy. We would sing to them and hoping integrate with them, hoping one day. And they like, yeah, we got a system that's been working, has been making us money off y'all back. We not physically in bondage because we was like he said, y'all losing money if y'all beating them physically. No.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, like, you know how we can look at our history here in America as blacks in America, and there's certain things that we see that trigger us? I wonder for those people and brothers and sisters in Africa, when they see it, how do they really feel? We never ask them how do they feel when they see that. When we bring up our history because they don't have they have their own version of it, but
right.
But you know what? What I found out, not to interrupt you, excuse me, but from the people that I work with and I've conversated with, they have more knowledge about us than we do about ourselves.
Wow.
Because they're taught. They know.
But it's
and
like
some of them were vetted to come to the United States. How about that?
But I think they're afraid because they threaten them when they get over here. So they
tell them don't socialize, but they know now. But guess what? We did one thing about us. We deserve the solidarity and the reverence. We deserve that because if it wasn't for us, there wouldn't be no them. They wouldn't have the privileges that they have if it wasn't for us and our people.
That's right.
That came before us.
Right. We stood behind Mandela, Patrice Lumumba. We stood behind Gaddafi. We gave them the blueprint to have courage to stand up, and that's why they standing up today. And I hear Africans saying, "I like how you blacks in America, man, y'all fierce, y'all. We stand up. We need some of that, right?" Because think about it. Every black person in America, right, back during slavery time, this is what they fail to realize. And this is why Africa really failed, right? When he studied Africa, he took the scientists. They wanted to do Egyptian cotton, didn't know how to do it, so we knew how to do that. He took the carpenters. He took how they built the White House, how we knew when to plant. Benjamin Banneker and the almanac. And so when you took the mind out of Africa, then of course, they was gonna have a lot of problems over there because the mine was over here, mixed in with the Moors who built up Spain and Portugal. Now they over here too with us, with the black Native Americans that was already here who was building the mounds all around America, and we all gathered in this one spot in North America. Yeah, of course.
Right.
Everywhere else is gonna be third world countries because you extracted the mine from from the Caribbeans and you brought them in one location and you left the people without the mine. They were just the leaders, the thinkers, the educators all came here. They took the best, so they didn't take the worst. They brought all the best is right up in here, and now we gotta regurgitate and now we giving our mind back to them and they waking up, but all the main leaders was here. How you think America on top? They didn't. We built everything during slavery, infrastructures, and showed them how to plant, when to plant. They didn't know none of that till it came from us. So of course they on us, and they're gonna be on us harsh because they don't want to let us go. Who creates in America from music? Getting to the moon, the black lady, the mathematician.
We are the product. We are America's biggest export.
But they are good at they good at mimicking. They can sit back and watch and study every move you make and go back and duplicate that like damn.
To the T.
Y'all remember they was envious of.
See, that's why it's important, really, that we have our own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, then we get. See, but that's right.
It's because people have access to us,
but
and that's why when we create something, it's getting hijacked.
It's getting hijacked, and we must have our own. And we will start to have our own once we break this myth that they put on us. Until then, some people don't even realize what we got our own for. Uncle Sam giving me everything, what I need my own for.
Right. They definitely got to break that mindset because
it's control. It's a mechanism of control because that means you're only willing to go so far. Because in the mind, if otherwise, you'll jeopardize that little something that you are being given.
That's right. In his mind,
it's powerful when it comes from self.
Yeah. Look at if Uncle Sam owns, more than likely if he owned it, he gonna make it look like the old slave houses back in the day, so he can control. He likes that look. That's because he has to put his children in that car and ride to our communities all over America and use us as examples. See, look at them. If you don't do this, it's to put fear in them. So he's working the system, right? But we finna get our people out this system, right? He says, so he worked in the West Indies, and he said, and it will work throughout the South. Take these simple little lists of differences and think about them. On the top of the list, right, is age. But it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, sizes of plantation, status on plantation. Wait a minute. You saying he would purposely give somebody a title like on the job.
Hey, think about it, Django.
Right.
That's so heavy. Look, what this nigga doing on that nag, right? Look, you gonna let this nigga sleep in the big house? We better burn them sheets, dude.
Burn them sheets.
Wait a minute, man. But you know what?
He played that part too good, man. He really played that part too good.
But you know what was scary about Django though? When the white dude, the plantation manager of Candyland, needed some
Big Daddy.
When Big Daddy needed some money, Now, not I'm talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right.
The slave, the Tom, the one the character Samuel Jackson played,
Right.
he went in there and wrote the check.
He was even.
Meaning
Ooh.
he had access to the money. You
Oh
trusted him with
yeah.
the
He made
so
him feel like he did that to he made sure that character would miss nothing. He would keep the head man informed thoroughly.
thoroughly.
Everything.
That's it. He that's what he did.
That's what he did. Kept him, and that was and
Didn't
he
realize he was really didn't realize what was going on with him. He didn't.
he thought they was cohorts. We in this together, Bob. No, nigga, you ain't in this together with me. You know, he's delusional. This system will make you delusional,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
He say, hey, he gonna put the old man against the young man.
Mm-hmm. A lot of that's going.
Like.
Oh man.
I remember being younger and had the mind to solve a problem, but they wouldn't take it because the older man is like, I've been on here. You can't tell me what to do. I tell you, I've been here so and so, and you. But how you know it's put on my heart to tell you is to keep, so you don't lose money or hurt yourself. But since
Right.
but it's come somebody young, so or somebody young won't listen to a older person because they think they know everything and don't realize we've been through this game. We know the game. How you gonna put a wool over our eyes? We done seen this 1,000 times.
I got a good example. I can recall when I was younger, and you get your first couple of jobs and stuff, and you'd have different age groups on there, and most of the time, someone older would train the young person, but they would not train you because they felt you were there to replace them. So they kind of half-ass train you on how to do things, and then you would think. I was the type of brother. I was like one of them latchkey brothers. I was like, I grew up around a lot of old school. I had so much respect for the old school. It's like I always would see some of them like as a family member, like an uncle or auntie or old big cousin. I never felt like that's that older person there. So it would hurt me when I found out. I would see how they would just. You get in trouble about something, you do something, then they turn their back on you. Just like, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to be on the same team, but no,
right.
You can replace me, take my job.
But Lee, come on. He say, okay, status on plantation, attitude of owners. Separate them by the different type. Look, I'm gonna give you an example. Oh my God. They played good cop and bad cop with the slaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
After the slave, after the man would beat them, then the wife would take them in and put a little something on their wound, right? And when I know he was wrong. He wasn't trying. He loved you. He just trying to and calm her back down. But they working together though. They hustling. You know what I'm saying? And the slave would feel like at least I'm getting some kind of I'm getting consoled a little bit, so I'm feeling a little better. But yet they working together. And they go back and do the same thing, and they come back and do the same thing. Right? Attitude, brother owner. Look, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south. Wait a minute. North and south side fight. East, west fight. This side of this town, this street fight. It was our whole. I'm telling you how I know that happened for a fact, right? It was going on in H-Town, north and south side, going at it, right? And you would go into these stores, and all of a sudden you were seeing T-shirts with south side on. You go on north side, T-shirts in the store, north side on. They just feeding it, and it's like we representing it. We
That's right.
buy to it.
Right. Once you think about it, that's true. It was a mechanism to create
divide,
division. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But you, again, like I said, we have to learn to recognize things, or when someone tells us, like when we buy things like that, we have to see what does it really mean.
Who is it benefit? Who is it really benefiting?
Right,
Who creating the styles? How these just drop out of the sky and now it's sitting everybody wearing this?
right, right.
And they the ones making the clothes.
Damn.
And then look,
It's so everywhere we turn, we left to the right. It's something to entice you, to divide you in some form or fashion, pull you away from your right mindset, so they can control you to do the things they want you to do, purchase the things you want to do, work the many hours they want to do. So that whole programming and reprogramming, even when you get a little knowledge, they're gonna send some agents out to within your own that look like you to discourage you from learning more and more. And I've been plenty of situations where people say, "What you reading that for?" "Oh, that stuff there. Oh man, you gonna go crazy reading all that," discouraging you from maturing.
But the white girl said it though. She said, "I wonder why my people are just so much, against black people. Like, what did they ever do?" She said, "It got to be something to it." She said, "Maybe they figured out something about y'all that y'all don't know that they know, and they wanna suppress y'all." And she said, but she said, it can't just be color. She said, got to be something about y'all that they don't want people to figure it out, right? She did a whole TikTok thing on it, but I don't know, trying to get in their psyche to.
That goes back to what you were saying. When the man do you wrong, the woman come in and say, "I don't know why they're doing that." It's the same game,
Yeah.
Well, how about this? If we learn to be less distracted, then perhaps we can focus more on us, and then we'll get to find out what is it really about us.
Right.
Because we do know, but we can know some more.
Right.
If we focus on us. See, that's the thing about it. And that's one of the things that it said, whenever we decide to do something for us, we start a trend, it's like, why we can't join? Why we can't be a part of it? No, do what you do and let us do what we do.
Right. Exactly.
It's nothing personal. It's just that it's a time for us. That's it, hands down. That's it. We've thought about everybody else. We just need to think and focus on ourselves right now. It's very imperative that we do it. We have to.
Why am I protesting your club? Because you won't let me in. That's your club. Well, I don't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And see, that's the thing. And then when we try to get by ourselves to do something, then it's a problem. Why are you worried about me and what I'm doing? Stop worrying about us. Just leave us alone. Leave us alone. Like you said, if we're not much of nothing, why are we the focal point?
Like you said, check this out. Distractions. Look at this distraction that they invented for us. Whether they have fine hair or coarse hair.
Oh man.
But the hell, they even went as far as to separate us by hair. What he's saying was use anything you can to get them at each other's throat. With hair. But we had shows on hair. Chris Rock did one on hair.
Good hair. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of good hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect or admiration. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Meaning, if we don't break it, he's saying, well, you implement this, they'll be doing this for 1,000 years now. But check this out. He knew one day it could come to a close, right? He knew it won't last forever.
Mm-hmm.
But so he's saying, get all you can
Right.
while you can, and hopefully y'all can be strong enough to make it last at least 1,000 years from 1712. But what we doing right now, what the Million Man March did, what Garvey did, was chipping away at some of them time, so it wouldn't last so long, so we can get back in our right mind, right? And then he say, don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slave versus the light-skinned slave, the light-skinned slave versus the dark-skinned slave. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. Look, I mean, God, we fight male, female. We can't let the black man lead, and the reason being, and I look, black man back in the day have an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get out here and do this, right? And you couldn't blame a woman though, because she would say, "Well, no, because I think if you do that, they gonna come after you," because she was scared of losing the mate at home. But he's saying, "Damn that, I'm not letting them. I'm finna get out there and do it."
Mm-hmm.
You caught
Right.
it's
And
great.
another thing I just thought about listening to it, for our generations and a few generations before us, we always say we need unity. We need unity. That's what we need. But if you think about it, if you read what he's saying in it, and you really take a deep look in it, that is at one moment in time where they were united. This
Right.
is to break them up. So
Right.
they didn't have what we have to unite. They only had each other, and the ones that were there. So they were united. You know what I mean? So they had to come up with a system to break us out of unity. Divide us up with these mechanisms and these systems to do this. I look at everything he said. Everything in there is a versus. Old versus young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Light versus dark. So the battle create that.
Right.
But before they had to be unified. And I really think, man, back in the
Yes,
day,
in order to survive. Absolutely.
I think back in the days, they had a language of silence that we still all have amongst us all. It's like when we can look at each other and
Right.
know something's wrong. I think
Yeah.
that's the most powerful part of them, how they communicated back then. I really feel that in my heart and my soul, that when we go into a room and something ain't right, and a brother or sister look at you,
Oh,
you automatically know.
You start backing up. Look at you.
You pretty much, they didn't say it to you telepathically.
Right.
Hey, something ain't right up in here. Watch out.
Yeah.
It could be one wrong movement. You can just look a certain way. You give them a quick look. Get the whole dialogue.
But it's saying that melanin communicates with melanin.
Excuse me.
Yeah, they said melanin communicates with melanin. But this was he called it an indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
We was indoctrinated
Yeah.
for hundreds of years under this system. And in 2025 going into 2026, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are saying, wait a minute. We it's like when you sleep and you waking up, but you kind of in the daze, but you're seeing something wrong and stuff going on all around you, but you trying to really wake up so you can grasp everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? We at that stage, but we need to move a little faster.
Right.
I believe, to break this indoctrination. Because if we don't break the indoctrination, then it's going to be harder as future times go and as fast things are moving and as AI and things of that nature is being implemented. It's gonna be rough. So we got to get this now to move on to the next phase, and that's why we doing this show. I believe that what you all stated in your take on this particular topic is going to wake up a lot of people coming from the energy that we have. You know, it's trust me, it's going to help because nobody likes to be played. And when you see how they played us, and they didn't even play us with money. In a sense, they played us with differences, and he said make them
Right.
differences
They played us with our individual uniqueness.
unique. And
In the gifts that God gave us,
come
our skin, our hair, God gave us that. But they
on,
took something. They took that and used it. It made it into something bad.
trick knowledge, tricked them, made it in something bad, and I understand that in the 1700s they had to whip over them, so they even though in their mind they probably tried to leave certain drawings or sayings that hopefully we would catch on in the future to know that hey, we was forced to do this. I hope y'all figure this thing out, right? And but they went on to the next generation. They went on to the next generation, and sometimes the griots was lost. You know what I mean? Or we lost the griots because we didn't have anybody to pass on the knowledge because we did it verbally. You know, we wasn't writing it down. We was a family member, family elder get together and pass down that knowledge from your lineage. That line had been broken. So now we today are saying, hey, this is the indoctrination. This is the system that they use. These are the ways that you can break this system. As Pebble stated, he used our God given talents and how God made us against us. So that lets you know that if God gave it to you, it can't be bad.
Right.
You can't turn what God gave me and make it bad.
Right.
No. That don't it don't add up. Now.
Add on to that. I want to add on to that. You know, and I've been a victim of it, and you know, when I've learned in my life, have you ever noticed how, and as we're discussing this, you know, a lot of stuff plays back in my mind, how we've been programmed, you know, indoctrinated. You know, when somebody else does something, you don't get as mad as you should, but when it's your own, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish, like Cedric Entertainer said, we had a wish you would. You know, your mind. That's how you know it's been 100% correct. I've had that mindset. If somebody, you know, it's like, you know, you get mad when somebody else do something. You're like, man, that's messed up. That's messed up. But when somebody of our own do something to you, you ready to almost go to war.
What? Like the Pan African Moor said last show, how he still do business with black business
right
owners and whatnot, even though he been done wrong in the instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that also has to it's hard, but that has to carry over to doing partnership with and open up businesses together.
Right.
That's hard too, because if you haven't broke this Willie Lynch chip or indoctrination, and you're trying to do business together,
and y'all both had that same mindset.
It's rough because because I'm gonna show you why. Because we've been learned to look at each other on the surface, but not been able to penetrate and look at each other from the heart or the energy of the spirit, right? And judge each other and deal with each other from that aspect, right? We would say, look at this nigga coming in here with this suit on, or look at this nigga coming in here with this gold chain on. Look at this nigga got, you know what I'm saying? And bam, and it stops it right there. But you don't know the heart of that person, though, the spirit of that person. Whether that you missing out on your blessings because you judging like you the God, you know. So
Right.
it's rough, man.
We so hard on us though. We hard on us.
We hard.
Right, but remember what I said the last show is that we have to get back to brotherly and sisterly love.
Yeah.
Because even think about this with the women's rights, with that whole ordeal, Black women shouldn't have got involved.
Right.
That wasn't our fight.
Nah.
And so what it did, it caused a strain on a relationship between the Black woman and the Black man. Our men respected us.
Right.
That wasn't for us, but we got tricked into that. You know, us wanting to help. And we didn't know what, we didn't really think critically, like the ramifications of that. We didn't think about the outcome. How it would impact us and our relationships. But now we know.
Now we know, because he said it, put the female against the male.
Yeah, so nope.
Right in here. And when
let them have
it. Like when you say let them have it, if that don't work on us no more, the spell drops off, it's gone. Just like that, it's gone. When you say I'm not participating in that no more, the indoctrination is over with. Now think about what we will start creating out of that freed mindset when that indoctrination is gone.
That's right.
You a totally different being now. Your thoughts is different. Your mindset is, your walk is different. Your energy is different. Your glow starting to come back. Everything is gone.
Right. It's a process though, because you're gonna go through some withdrawals. It's a process.
You're gonna
have a clear mindset. But
nigga spirit jump back in, you ready to jump on somebody.
You slip back into it. Something you see or hear. Like you say, those distractions. So we gotta have a system in play to gradually bring you out of it. Because when they go cold turkey, I can't explain on how quick it is for them in any situation when a person this has been their reality their whole life. You don't know anything else. You're coming into something new that's even better for you in the long run, but you kind of pump the brakes a little bit because you're like, wait a minute, whoa, but we're gonna have to figure out a way though, man. That's why I like we doing this show to at least get the conversation on the table. I know a lot of other people do that, but years from now, when they actually take a look at our comments and our take on things like that, they're gonna see we were one of those ones that had a clear mind and that it is possible to function in this society without the same type of indoctrination and mentality that was put in place 300 something years ago.
Right. Yeah, this is for your survival. You're not gonna make it with that over indoctrinated mind because time won't allow it. This is we giving them survival skills. You will be if you continue on with this mindset, you will be the one left behind trying to fend for themselves in a world that done passed you by. And nobody's gonna come back and I don't want to say nobody, but it's gonna be hard to get somebody to come back to breathe life into you again. Because it's gonna be so many distractions. And they try to maintain their lives too and use utilize their time wisely. Instead of going,
we have to get past that's just the way it is. Because no, it's not.
No, it's not. Somebody made it that way, right? We didn't make this. We didn't look. Black folk, we didn't come up with this indoctrination. This didn't come out of our mind. This came out of someone else's mind to subdue us. And now we saying that we own to it. We know what you did. Now we got the tool. Now, because I'm a tip. But one thing, look, as far as keeping records, they kept good records. They wrote down everything and put it in books and thought we would
And we
never.
should too. And we should too, because you know what? A lot of us are very quick to forget.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's why I try to remind people. Remind them. We have to remind each other. Don't forget. Because if you remind it, guess what? Once you keep reminding, it gets in the psyche. We have to remember this stuff. And constantly. No matter if regardless if a person say, "Oh, I'm tired of seeing that." No.
Yeah, right. Right.
It's still going on.
Right. Yeah, we are, and what we have to realize, this show, we are creating, and you'll see it, new dynamics for Black History Month, even though it should be longer, but we are creating new dynamics where we're not on the same topic as far as Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and the same civil rights. We taking it a step deeper into Black studies, right? Even though we beating wokeism, we whooping all of that, in that time. But before we close, a question. Start with Pebbles first. How do you feel about we as Black people in the political arena getting into politics? Is it helping or?
I believe so with the right individuals, absolutely.
Okay.
If a person doesn't go in there for monetary gain, selfishness, absolutely. Okay. Because it does give them an arena to voice their opinion.
Oh, come on. All right. Okay. Now, what you think, OG Addict?
I'll say I agree that entering into it for the knowledge of how that system works, but I also caution it because I always look at it as there's systems within that, so you have to have, like you say, a woke mind. You have to be, conscious on a conscious level going into that, because you can easily fall victim to right back in the system. As I'm reading an article, it says you must also have your white servants or overseers always distrust back. So that's still in play. They'll let us in there, but there's always going to be a part where, are you willing to do more than you need to try to help the others, but you end up putting yourself in that same cycle again. So if the person mindset is in the right mindset and they're not part of this indoctrination, I think they could actually do it and really affect a lot of people and change some stuff. I really do.
I think that, say, us on this panel, and we had some more people, and we create a coffer of some money, and we pick a politician, and we bag them and put them in the seat, and told them, look, this is what our community needs, this is what we need, and we're going to put you in there just to do that. We give you an agenda to represent, right? Because I'm gonna tell you, why I was upset at a lot of Black politicians, because there will be money set aside for programs within the community, right? But when you say, well, why didn't y'all do nothing with it? All their answers was, well, why the people ain't make us do nothing with it? They didn't come down here and call and say we need to do that. They didn't
have to.
Wow. See, that calls for a different type of person. Because if it's a righteous person, they already would know. Well, see, that's important to have. When it comes to politics, you got to put a person that has had that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, no, who has had the experience that's similar to yours, and then they would know. It won't be any guesswork because they already know.
They know
what's lacking, what's needed.
Yeah, because they know that they feel like in our community, nobody gonna ask them to do nothing, so they gonna ride their term out, make that money, and have an easy job. They ain't nobody gonna put them to the task.
But
That's why
isn't
they,
that something someone has to tell you what's needed? Then you're not the right person.
Correct. I agree.
exactly.
You're not the right person.
And that's why you see nothing's been done over time since they allowed us to start moving in certain neighborhoods and houses or whatever. And they be saying, well, some people say, oh, it looked the same since the 50s or 60s, 70s. Yeah, because the politician getting there just sit down.
Right.
They ain't allocating nothing towards nothing. Because they saying, well, ain't nobody asking us to allocate nothing towards nothing. Like, come on,
But they can't
Yeah.
see. They can't see, right?
right. You can't walk and see these. You can't see all this going on, and you representing this district.
And
And
another
then,
thing happens too when they get in power and they get to be able to do some things, they'll say, "Well, you know, there's a process how a thing is done. I just can't do this and do that." But we've seen others get in there and just do it just like
wait,
how you can. You know what I mean? Well,
Yeah.
that's not how it's done.
They're really trying to keep the peace of burn the candle on both ends.
see, that's okay. Well, now that we done broke this Willie Lynch spell, indoctrination, folks finna be on them politicians' ass. Like, I want this. I want my neighborhood to look like these neighborhoods. I want my kids to be able to play without worrying about nothing. I want, you know what I mean? Because, like Jesse said, because I am somebody. If I'm somebody, then I want some things for myself to prove that I am somebody. I have value within myself. Don't come over here and treat me like I don't have no value, or my existence on this planet is not justified, not warranted. I'm not on this planet just to be on the planet so time can just pass me by and that's it. Then I'm gone.
Right.
That ain't what we here for. You know, we not settling for it, and we are I thank you all for being a shining example and them brilliant minds. That's why we do this thing. You know what I mean? We rolling, and it's not about us. You know, it's not about me. It's not about us, right? It's about the people being an example and using topics and information that will make them think as well, because we are not going to interpret it all the same way. But it's there to be interpreted, though. That's the key. So now we got something. It's like when you was younger, right? And the worst thing you did is tell your mom or your dad, your parents, you was bored. And they finna find you something to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, are you bored? I got something for you to do. You all know I ain't bored no more. I'm finna go. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I ain't bored. Yeah, okay. All right. Yo, come over here playing. We got something for you to do. You tell me you ain't got nothing to do, Phil. We got something for them to do. But thank you all. Till next time. Hey, y'all know how we do it. Hey, Bro Freak Radio, we out.
Peace.